With regards to all the variations that you could show of the tons of techniques that you have, how did you decide on what you were going to put out there? What was the source? Was it through your personal, like, diving into doing the research, or do you have like variations from certain teachers that you go to? Because now there's different soke for the different you recently.
Okay, so now it gets technical. Okay, at the beginning, Duran thought teached a version of ninjutsu that is the version of ninjutsu he learned in Japan, and Hatsumi created an amalgam of some things in Kotoryu, some things in Kokishin Ryu, Gyokuryu. Okay, so of course Gogyo no kata, okay, and all these katas that emphasize some style. And this is what we did, which is a very frugal and thin, okay, and very concise ninjutsu. It's not too big, not all the kata are in it. And this is what Doron teached. And it was good because ninjutsu has a problem. It's too big, okay? It's like the system is too big. So after doing this at the beginning years, I got hungry. I am, by the way, always hungry. I'm hungry like a wolf. I became hungry and I started researching with Manaka's help other kata that only Manaka documented. And I'm saying this again because I know all the videos, only Manaka was busy documenting these katas. And I look at Manaka's interpretation and I was into, first of all, deep respect for Manaka and his students, okay? Because he created, I think, with Hatsumi's permission, his own school, and really dedicated himself to teaching and documenting. And then I became hungry, and I looked, and I'm answering your question, Hardy. I looked at a kata that really interested me, and I said, "Oh boy, this is really effed up kata. The way Manaka does it makes absolutely no sense to me. Nobody attacks. Boom, boom, boom. Nobody attacks. So why is this happening?" And and it was just like a riddle, okay, a challenge, a mental, intellectual challenge. And this is the way we just skipped from kata to kata, understand what this kata does, under what's the premise that makes this. Why? Let's say, let's look at all the basic sabaki level of Kukishinden Ryu. Okay, again, very technical for those of you that know what I'm talking about. Kukishinden Ryu is a system of samurai, maybe pirates, that got integrated into Bujinkan. It probably has very little to do with ninjutsu, but it's sort of taijutsu and also weapon jitsu system. And it's levels. Okay, first level, sabaki. Okay, okuden level. So why in Kukishin you stand like this and you do boom, 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 and then somebody, I don't remember if it was me or one of my students, said, okay, this is a system of samurai, and they were wearing a yoroi. Okay, how much does a yoroi weight? And we started wearing things just that weighs like yoroi. And then we understood that if you put on yourself 20 pounds, 30 pounds of even light armor with the clothes and everything, then you have to do boom, boom, because you cannot rotate the waist and do punch, punch, punch. You cannot do it because you're wearing a battle armor. And then what we did, because we're Israelis and we don't have the money to buy all Japanese yoroi, we put on a ceramic anti-bullet vests, and you can find online videos of us doing a colloquium, which is a meeting of all the instructors, wearing a ceramic vest. And then you understand why Kukishin Ryu does all the kata. Okay? And it took us in the place of Kukishin 3 years. And again, this is just my perspective. Maybe I'm wrong. So I'm so interested to say it as a wish. I wish to see other people's interpretations of these dinosaurs, okay? Because I think they mean something, and I learn uh, pragmatic, real combat skills with it. Okay, but is my interpretation the only one? I hope not. Okay.
Yours has been put out there so broadly that you're certainly seen as one of the main sources of knowledge. Do you have a favorite sort of video or set of videos that you've put out, and is there like a fan favorite? Is there one that click and keep liking or commenting? Is there something that's collected or caught the most attention?
Okay, so the way it works is like this. I have several favorites.
Mhm.
My favorites are not the favorites of the crowd. Why? It's all about search words.
Mhm.
Okay, and what do I mean search words? I once had a video that is called The Interpretation of Fudori Kata concerning Kansetuvaza and Nagewaza in the middle level strata. Okay, so this was like a name. Okay, and I put it online, and it was online. And this is a nice story, Scott. It was online for 4 months, and 3,000 people were interested in the interpretation of the kata of the Nagewaza and Kansetuvaza. Nobody looked at it, actually. 3,000 people. And then I changed the name, and I called it Ninjutsu Techniques Against MMA and Judo. So
I watched that one.
Suddenly, the same, by the way, and if you listen carefully, I don't say anything about MMA or Judo because it's Fudoryu Kata. But of course, Fudoryu understood that if somebody wants to throw you, you can use the ken, which is hitting, okay, to do kuzushi, okay, put him out of balance. So I did not lie, but in the original video, I didn't care about MMA. I don't care about MMA. It's not interesting. Okay, so I just changed the name, million views. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, because people that are drawn to these things are drawn via algorithm. Okay, and I don't care about this algorithm. Okay, if I would care, I would have 10 times the number of views on my channel because most of my videos are called Shiokaze no Kata, Okuden level, Takagi Oshin Ryu, which is not a popular search word. Okay. If you ask about my favorite video is a video concerning the inner essence, the reason why ninjutsu kamae are connected to ninjutsu hand positions and why they are so important in our modern world. And the story behind this Kuji-kiri video, which actually does not teach Kuji-kiri, but the reason behind it is that I was recording in Athens and I got angry at my teachers that were there that didn't understand why I'm doing something. I said, okay, stop. I'm going to tell you. And this telling was not without teleprompter. I didn't rehearse it or anything. I just talked for 15 minutes. And it's the best explanation to what I do. So this is my favorite video. But of course, nobody searches for Kuji-in for soldiers and commanders under stressful situation. It's not a popular search term. Maybe if I would call it the Kardashian answer to tough times, then I would have.
Then you've got a hit, man. You got a hit there.
But this is the way it works. Okay, the algorithm is not so insightful. Yeah.
What about your personal passion for your training and for your dojos, right? Like you've got this broad set of stuff you're documenting, and you know there's hundreds and hundreds of kata in the Takamatsu-den. But if your family, your cousin, your nephew or something had a few months to train with you, a few years to train with you, and you could only download what you thought was real important and real applicable.
We have this. And the answer is very simple because I had to use it, not only say it, for many times. First of all, learn to fall. If you want to stand and have good balance, do not be afraid of falling. And not being afraid is not here, it's here. The body must not be afraid of falling. Then learn how to contact somebody. Somebody should bump into you, not very hard, just learn because if you don't do it, the shock and surprise of clashing with somebody would immediately put you into a 3F reaction, fight, flight, freeze. And we don't want this automatic reaction. We want a very high level, speedy, instinctual reaction. So just learn the feeling when somebody
with you. And then, just a minute, my earphones stopped working and I'm just checking to see if I hear you like this. Do you hear me? Yeah.
I hear you.
We hear you great.
Okay. So
Yep.
that's the Mac microphone. Sorry for that.
All good.
So first of all, rolling, then learning, just understanding the impact, and then doing sabaki, and then just maybe 3 or 4 punches. Punch straight, okay, punch from the side, learn to do push kick. I really like the ninjutsu push kick, okay, sokugyaku-geri. I really like it because I think it is so versatile and it doesn't try to do something like kicking in the head, and almost everybody can learn it in 2 or 3 months. And that's it, that's enough. Tai sabaki, falling, learning how to clash, 2 or 3 punches, that's it. And if you look at one of the reasons, that's not the only reason, one of the reasons classical boxing is so good, is such a sweet science, because it uses not many ingredients to make something magical, okay? So not many ingredients, you can make fantastic stew, okay? Fantastic cooking, okay? And then if you're interested and you want to really explore, because it is so interesting, this system, look, this is a treasure, okay, that we all have. We're the custodian of the, then you go and continue to train. And I think, and now I'm extending my answer into a really, I think it is very beneficial that in my ninjutsu, and again, I'm almost 60 years old, I'm learning something new all the time. It's unbelievable. I'm just going into the 3rd level of Takagi Yoshin Ryu, and I cannot do the kata. I have to learn it. Where is it in the 21st century that a person above the age of 16 learns new way to move only in ninjutsu? We don't redigest the same 5 or 6 movements, which is good, fantastic. No, we are again and again and again challenged by new ways of moving, of locomotion, okay? And it's only in ninjutsu. So it's a problem because the horizon is never there. You go and you understand suddenly, I understand suddenly that I don't know enough. Sure. But then you look at my group, everybody in Akban is an entrepreneur. We're just like the Y Combinator. And why is it? Why so many successful people are in Akban group? Because of this mindset. I keep learning all the time. My students, after learning for 10 years, come to the training session. And now we started doing long stick and naginata. And everything is new. They just start from the beginning. Not many people have a stomach for this, okay? Sure. I want to, after 10 years, feel like I control the whole field. And I never get this feeling in ninjutsu. So I always feel like I just discovered something and I'm 6 years old, okay? So I don't know if this answered your question, Hardy, but it allowed me to keep my own practice with joy because I practice every day religiously. And there are many reasons for it, but one of the Duracell batteries in it is because it is so interesting to do these new things, to discover new things, okay? And again, Akban is an organization of very, very problematic guys like me. I attracted guys like me. And if I would not have been training every day and honing my technique, my students would sniff it in no time and eat me up like a pack of wolves. So this whole balance is founded upon the fact that I train more than my students all the time. And when the day comes, and it will come, that I will be weaker and older, I will say to my students, I'm lending you my experience and my farewell wishes. I'm out of this because, after all, Akban Ninjitsu is very tough place, and there is no place in it actively to a person who cannot do the work. And someday will come that I will not be able to do the work, and I will just be maybe a beneficial figure, but somebody else from Akban will be the next headmaster. And it's a good way to think about it, because I will not be strong forever.
Well, I think the maturity in your practice was really clearly expressed just with that excitement about constantly learning new stuff. You can tell what stage somebody is in the training by what piques their interest, and the fact that you've got that curiosity that continues to drive you is what I believe put you in the position that you're in, that you have this the group that you have. Now tell us a little bit about the group. Tell us about Akban. I know you've got the group in Israel, but I believe you have in Greece as well. Is that correct?
We have in Israel about 12 groups.
Okay.
Every group is led by an instructor. If you Google up black belts, Akban, it's even more in Hebrew, because in English, I did not updated everybody. Then you see about 120 black belts. Some of them are not training anymore because they had enough. They ate enough and they continued with my farewell. It's important thing to release a student that is old and mature enough. Okay, so but out of these people, I've got about 20 instructors that chose this as the thing that they are doing now. Each one of them has been training at least 15 years. Okay, the instructors in Greece, Aris and Vasilis, have been training for many years, also in Bujinkan. I'm very, very happy for this. And I've got a group in Berlin and one instructor that is not, hey, Daniel, what's the matter with you? I'm just talking to you. Open up the group in France, okay? We started the best fantastic collaboration with a Bujinkan dojo in Madrid, Spain, and I was in Spain. Everything is very, very slow because there is no business model behind it. We have a group in Toronto, and soon we will have a group in Chandigarh, which is in India, Punjab, okay, because I have a fantastic student there. So everything is very, very slow, okay? Because if somebody wants to train and be an instructor with Akban, usually I get, at least before the Corona, before the COVID, once a week a mail, how much should I pay you to be an Akban instructor? And I said, nothing. You just come to Israel or invite me to your group. And if you don't have a group, then I cannot help you, because you can learn in Zoom. We have Zoom, but you have to experience it. And then, like the Greek instructors, they invite me and I come and I start teach. And not a lot of money passes from hand to hand because there is not a lot of money in our tiny branch of ninjitsu. That's it. The margin is very small and there is not a lot of money. And it's actually good because calculating the low margin has forced me to do everything out there for free. So all the videos, all the images, all what I wrote are under Creative Commons. Please do not use them commercially and mention where you got them from, but do whatever you want from them with them. So it helped me not to expand a lot, but to expand during 20 or 30 years very, very slowly, but feeling such a deep faith and love for my instructors. Because look, I know these instructors at least for 20 years. Many of my students, where you go into the black belt page, many of my students have been with me together for 30 years. So
Mm.
this is the best ecosystem there is. You know, it just, I come to the dojo, I don't know, it expands my heart, okay? Because these are the same students that have been learning with me, okay, for so many years, and now they are teachers. Some of them are better than me, for sure, because they got a better starting point, they got better genetics, and and everything is good. Okay, so let's please continue this small and tiny organization that is really interested in reconstitution of dinosaurs, okay, trying to integrate modern warfare techniques, even handguns, into ninjutsu way of thinking, and do it in a very beneficial and not political system and environment. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's a long answer for a
That's a
good
good answer.
question.